All right. Good morning, everybody. Today's date is December 14th, 2022. This is a regular meeting of the members of the State Liquor Authority being conducted in our New York City office with video conferencing to our Albany and Buffalo offices. Present today are Chairman Bradley, Commissioner Fan, and Commissioner Ford. Staff in attendance, Acting Counsel Amarato, Deputy Commissioner of Licensing Donahue, and myself, Secretary Roper. This meeting is being live streamed on the Authority's YouTube channel. The next regular meeting dates will be January 4th and January 18th. While in the meeting rooms, please silence your mobile phones and take any phone calls or conversations outside. No food or drink. For New York City, the public restrooms are located on the second floor. Please do not touch the microphone when you approach the podium. Items will be called in the order they are signed in, first in Buffalo, then in Albany, and then here in New York City. When your item is called, please approach the podium and introduce yourselves. Representatives, please introduce your clients who are present. Chairman, do you have any announcements?
Yeah. As you may or may not be aware, that there's a law revision committee that's been meeting. We've had 2 meetings so far. We have another meeting planned for next week. There is a public comment period wherein we'll take written public comment. There's going to be a report written in May with recommendations of the committee, and if you have any input as public, that would be sent in public comment, then we urge you to do so as soon as you can. That period to accept public comment is probably going to close at the end of the year unless we get a influx of requests to add more. That's it. And I think Commissioner Fan has something to say. Yeah, I'll talk to him afterwards. Go ahead. You can go first, then I'll go.
But you want to announce the thing? You want to say?
Oh, well, so as you all are aware, this is my good friend Greeley Ford's last day on the board here. So Commissioner Fan wanted to thank him, and then I'll give him a thank you as well.
I totally didn't want to come to work today because I know we're going to be doing this. Oh, God.
See, it's not that easy, is it?
Commissioner Ford, I just want to say that you've taught me so much. Thank you for taking care of me in Albany when we were meeting, and we took a 3-year break to meet up there, and Commissioner Ford took care of me the whole time. You've always shown so much grace and understanding in our work, and sometimes what we do up here, it's a little bit stressful and a little bit thankless. It's hard for 3 people as different as we are to present a united front and vote together, and there's a little bit of a mind game that we play up here that you guys don't see, but you know, we're always trying to respect each other's knowledge and judgment, and so it's gonna be a little sad to not have that play with you up here.
Thank you, Commissioner Fan. I will always still be here in spirit with you guys.
Well, you're never coming back to New York? Is that what you're saying?
I'll be coming back to New York.
So I just want to add to that. I spoke previously about him. He's become a good friend to me. He's going to be missed. You know, you may not realize it, but he was here 6.5 years. I didn't realize it till he actually mentioned it to me. And that, as I mentioned before, was a huge effort for him to come here every 2 weeks, to go through COVID like he did with us, wherein we were meeting almost every day. And for little pay. I mean, for Commissioner Fan and Commissioner Ford, they obviously get paid for doing this, but it's absolutely not even anywhere near what the effort they put into it, both of them. And to do that for 6.5 years and take that much time away from not only his other job, he had a full-time job, as well as his family, to travel the way he did and come down here and make the effort he did, always prepared. I can't remember one thing that we did here where he was unprepared for it. He does not have a background in law. He does not have a background in liquor law, certainly, as none of us do, prior to doing this. And he picked up on it almost immediately. He's now what I would consider an expert on it. And he's going to be sorely missed. There's no question about that. I'm going to miss him. I had many, many dinners with him over the last 6.5 years down here. He's become a good friend to me. And I'm glad he has a guest room in Florida because I'm going to bring my kids and my wife, and we're going to spend a week in Florida with the Fords.
We have a big pool. The kids will love it.
Yeah. But thank you. And I want to give you a...
You all. And I'll just close up by saying what a pleasure and an honor it has been for me to serve the people of the great state of New York. Over the years, I've shot my mouth off a lot about, in columns and things like that, writing about what I thought government was doing wrong and how we should do it and things like that. So I finally had the opportunity, thanks to Senator Griffo, who nominated me, and AT&T, which allowed me to do this. I finally had a chance to put my money where my mouth is and, try to work on something and make things better for everyone from the inside. And I didn't always have, I know some of you guys some days might have left kind of like, kind of pissed off at me, because I didn't decide what you wanted, but I always tried to think of what's best for the public. I had to have that always be my charge and my main thought, what to think about, what's best for the public, not necessarily the applicant or the licensee. And so I apologize for that, but then again, I don't either. So Donald, you do an incredible job. I can't believe how you just slipped in behind Donahue, and actually some might even say you're doing it even better than Donahue did. Actually, a lot of people might say that. I'd like to thank Tom. He's a walking encyclopedia. You guys know that. The only job he hasn't had here is chairman. Well, anyway, not yet, but he's still here. Commissioner Fan, it's been a pleasure having you on, and your hospitality to me has been wonderful. Chairman, I was talking this about him when I first got here. When I was confirmed, my first call that Friday morning was from the chairman, and he told me, "Hey, dude, listen, you're not here to back me up or do anything. You're here to be your own man, make your own decisions, and you stand by them." And I think of that every time I sit in this chair. And Michael, thank you for jumping in as counsel, and you've been a great help to me, and you try to help me make the right decisions with the law in mind. I really appreciate that. So with that, why don't we get this rock and roll show on the road, and thank you all for letting me take up your time.
So the first item is in Buffalo. That's number 1791, Uncle Sam's Wine and Spirits, LLC.
Morning. I'm Tracy Jung. I'm here with Sam and Jeff Beckenridge, the applicants. However, I do believe there's opposition. Do you wish to hear from them first?
Yes, please.
I believe we also heard it's the same people from last
Yeah,
meeting.
I mean, if you're going to come up and repeat what you've already said, you don't really need to. I think we all remember it, but if you want to add something, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Hazeltine from Frank's Wine and Liquor in Palmyra. The one thing that I did want to add, that I sent an email, I hope you got, I went around and I took some pictures of both the towns of Palmyra and Macedon. These are both small towns. We're so small that we can't even sustain a tax income to have two different school districts, so our districts are combined. I did take pictures of our main street. We have one road, Route 31, that basically connects both of our liquor stores. And I took some pictures of all the stores in between, because if the argument is that there is growth coming to Macedon, all you have to do is take a look around both the towns and you can see right now the town's populations are declining. Our income is declining, and I just thought, since you're not from the area, that might help give you an idea of what we're looking at. I truly hope that there is stuff in the works for Macedon and that some more growth is coming, because let's all make some money. I think that would be great, but right now, that's not the case, and I just wanted you to be aware of that.
Thank you.
For the record, I'm very familiar with Matt. I'm very familiar with it.
Oh, you are?
Yes.
Small town.
and not for a good reason, but I'm very familiar with it.
What, did you get
Thank
arrested
you.
there or something?
Hello, I'm George Constantino, and I'm owner-operator of Walworth Wine and Spirits. I would just like to clarify a few things from last time that I think need to be clarified. One is the census data that was used was falsified, and also the number of people in that area was false. There's not enough growth, there's not enough population to support another license. The other thing is that store, if you can picture this, trisects our 3 stores, the closest stores in the area, in the middle of no man's land. We occupy the towns. I'm right next to a Tops grocery store. Frank's is on Main Street, and Craig's is on the main drag right next to a Walmart. Their store would literally be in the center of all 3 in no man's land. And I highly oppose the license.
Thank you.
Hi, Craig from Cedar Wine and Spirits. I did forward a letter I'm hoping that you all received. And I don't want to bore you with all the statistics and
Yeah, just.
doldrums of the numbers.
Oh, hold on.
But-
The other speaker referred to something she sent in too. We did get all that. We have it. But go ahead.
All right, well, I just want to point out that, again, as far as what George had just mentioned, some of the numbers that were given to you last week are incorrect. And as you see, Perrington was one of the ones that was mentioned. They said 60,000, it's actually only 47,000. But again, you can see all my computation mathematics there, which spells out how many customers we really have, because a lot of it is underage, people under 18. You're still missing 3 years because 18 to 21, the census doesn't break down that age group. So really, in total, you have 34,000 that are in Perrington that are actual people that we could sell to, but it's actually a moot point because nobody's driving from Perrington out to the rural town of Macedon to buy liquor. I mean, I'm pretty close to the border, and I don't see anyone. I see very few people from Perrington coming out. They're serviced by 4 large stores, larger than me. They have no need coming out to Macedon. And they're surely not going to drive through Macedon to Uncle Sam's to purchase more liquor past you.
What
Right.
about the people? What about the people who live in Macedon?
Well, you see
Should
the
they
next,
have to drive? Should they
If
have
you
to
look
drive
at-
a couple?
if you look at the next set of if you look at the next part of the letter that I sent, it
Yeah.
spells out the 3 towns that are really our clientele, which is Macedon, Palmyra, and Walworth. And at the bottom, at the end, I actually broke it down to what the grand total is. It's 12,579.1 people that we would actually be able to sell to. Again, you got to keep in mind, there's not that age group because the census doesn't break it down between 18 and 21. So there's 3 years that I don't have broken down at that number yet. But I can't get that number because the census only does below 18 and below 5.
Okay.
So as you see, if you look, the population of Macedon over the last 10 years has increased by 111 people. The population of Palmyra has decreased by 614. The population of Walworth has decreased by 216. In essence, overall, with those 3 towns, the population in the area has decreased over the last 10 years. Now, our pie is not obviously getting any larger. So right now, there's 3 of us that's splitting up that pie. 1 more store is just going to do nothing but take away revenue from the 3 stores that already exist. There's
All right,
nobody moving into that area at this point.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I just wanted to bring up one more point. I apologize. Last time we were here, Sam had mentioned Berry Plastics. That would be right across the store, that there's 1,000 employees there. That is true, but when they leave work, they're either heading to Walworth, to Palmyra, or to Macedon. So those are our customers. So he'd be taking all those customers away from us as well. Thanks.
Thank you.
Hello, we're Uncle Sam's Wine and Liquor. I just want to start off by, kind of respond to the allegations of lying, which is a bit much. In our original statement, we added links to the census data, which is a giant Excel sheet. And all you do is just type in the town name and it gives you the numbers. That's the numbers we provided. We're not trying to mislead or lie, okay? Just want to make that clear.
Where's the 90,000 people?
If you go on the Excel spreadsheet, you can find the town names and you get the numbers.
Okay, so last time we talked about clarifying the square footage size of the store.
What's the exact?
So the
The-
supplemental, it
in
contains
the
it,
supple- I'm sorry, we amended it so that the retail space is 2,254. And then we resubmitted the diagram. They have also put together a statement that they put together and put in that contains some information on some of the questions, like the round trip distance to the other liquor store. And we were trying to get some information to answer the questions of the commissioners about growth in the area. So what we were able to find is there was a large hotel that is under construction. They worked with the Economic Development Bureau, and we were able to get part of the certified reports that they put in to the county and to the banks. And we provided some of those that talk about some of the growth in the area from a third party, not an opinion between these two, but an opinion from 3 certified, and we put their credentials in about growth, and specifically in Macedon. We're having a lot of discussion here about whether there's growth in the area, but there is a super Walmart that located, a Lowe's, a large hotel, several new restaurant franchises. So the census data isn't necessarily telling the whole story about commercial need and growth in the area and what the consumers want. All of these things that are coming in are not renovations, they're all new builds, multi-million-dollar projects. These large national companies would not be coming to this area and building if there wasn't commercial need, demand, and growth in the area. There was a discussion about a small family-owned grocery store that left. We explored, and the reason that they left was because there was a super Walmart that located nearby. So it wasn't that there weren't any customers to support retail. It was that larger national places, big box stores with lower price, were replacing some of the small locally owned businesses that couldn't compete in terms of price.
But isn't if your argument correct, wouldn't they both be able to coexist? If the growth is so big and a Walmart comes in, it shouldn't shut down the supermarket. There should be this increase in demand, which obviously did not occur because the supermarket was forced to shut.
That grocery store was sold. It has been replaced by a complementary business, Byron Dairy and Deli. It is not a full grocery store, but it provides basic needs to the small town.
And that particular Burn Dairy, we were told by the Indus Group that they were, part of the economic development in that area. And that Burn Dairy has 4 locations within 5 miles. They wouldn't have taken over this location if there wasn't enough demand and growth.
As far as residential growth, over the past 2 years, we have provided town planning board testimonials, community plans, pictures of all the new units and new builds going on in the past 2 to 3 years, and new ones coming into the area.
Okay, do you guys have any questions?
No, I'm good.
All right, we're ready.
Yep. Members are ready to vote. Commissioner Fan?
Can we respond to that? Can opposition respond?
No, we don't need any response. Thanks.
Judging from the numbers, the sale numbers, and the distance of the stores around, I'm going to find public convenience and advantage and vote in the affirmative.
Commissioner Ford?
I'm looking at the distances as well. And I guess to sum it up succinctly, I just think like the residents of Macedon deserve to have a store as well. So I'm voting to approve as well.
And Chairman Bradley.
I'm voting to deny. I just didn't see the demand increase. I don't believe the census numbers show the increase in population that the applicant is indicating. Don't clap. They got their store.
Yeah, they've been approved 2 votes to 1. So
All right, thank you.
Who's going to look after my livelihood now?
Thank you very much.
Sir,
Are you guys going to cover my mortgage and my car payment? You see my numbers. You're talking about a rural community that has thousands of people there amongst 10 miles.
Sir, the members have voted.
All right, let it
We're
go.
going to move on
That's
to
a
the next
mockery.
item. We're going to move
That's
on
a
to the next
mockery.
item.
I pay
It's
my license so that you
1782,
guys can protect me.
Fuller's Tavern of Cortland, Inc.
That is a fucking mockery. They shouldn't be allowed to do that.
17 what, Donald?
1782, Fuller's Tavern of Cortland, Inc.
Good morning, Chairman Bradley, Commissioners Ford and Fan. My name is Brittany Lawrence. I'm an attorney with Barclay Damon, and I represent a licensee, Fuller's Tavern of Cortland, doing business as the Stone Lounge. Mr. Cameron Fuller is present and here with me today. He is the owner and operator of the licensee. Mr. Fuller has entered a no contest plea to the pending charges, and we're here today for purposes of determining a penalty. We have submitted a proposed penalty for the board's review and consideration. And Mr. Fuller has prepared a statement that he's prepared to share in just a moment.
We don't have a proposed penalty. He pled straight no contest, which means there is no proposed penalty. We determine what the penalty is.
Understood. We submitted a mitigation statement dated November 30th.
Yes.
And we did include at the very end what we feel.
Oh, yeah, I see it. Okay, yeah, that's not going to work. Okay, go ahead.
First, I want to start by saying we understand the seriousness of the charges here. This case obviously involves allegations of underage drinking and violations of licensing and record-keeping requirements. Mr. Fuller accepts full responsibility as reflected by his no contest plea. There's one factual issue that I want to focus on, and that has to do with the use of scanners. During the October 19th inspection, it was determined that every ID that an individual presented to gain entry into the establishment was in fact scanned. There was even a period of time.
Ma'am, can I stop you there, because I remember this guy. He's been in front of us twice, and the first time I gave him extensive warnings. I told about exactly what happened here, and I indicated to him to get a scanner. And I indicated to him where to find out what kind of scanner to get. And he didn't go and get that scanner. He went and decided he'd get the one that wouldn't do as much as the ones I recommended. So that's one. Two, he came back here again this spring, asked for more hours, dancing, DJs, live music. We warned him again. I voted the dancing, DJs, and live music down myself, and said, you're not ready to do this because of the history at the place and the fact that it was next to SUNY Cortland. He's had more warnings than I've really given anybody. And the reason for that was because he worked at this place. He saw what happened here before. Now, to top it all off, I find out after the fact that before this inspection even occurred, he got the heads up from somebody that we were coming. And we still found 85 people in there underage. So what do you want me to do here?
Chairman, I understand what you're saying, and I get
You're
it.
laughing here.
I think in this particular scenario, I think what has happened, and we've seen it, there's no question he was in over his head. And I know he worked for the prior licensee, but this is the first time that he has been involved as an owner. And, you know, you'll hear from Mr. Fuller directly, but he needs help. And so what we're proposing here is having a manager and someone else who can provide that oversight. So he's no longer the one responsible, and having to make sure that payroll and taxes
How is he not responsible? He has to be responsible. That's why I gave him the warnings. He's the licensee.
Understood.
How is he not responsible?
And I don't mean, you know, responsible. Strike that. I should not have used the word responsible. What I'm saying is that he needs someone else to help ensure, because in this particular case, with the use of scanners, for example, he was using scanners and every ID was scanned. The problem was
the scanner he was using was useless.
That's
why I directed him to other companies. I didn't even bring that company up. Those scanners do nothing. They don't recognize fake IDs. They don't, and I'm sure the fake IDs that did go into the scanner were probably not even possessed by the actual people whose pictures were on them. So nobody was doing that comparison. There were so many 18-year-olds in there that it was clear, and after he got a warning that he was about to be inspected, it's clear he didn't care. This isn't about his inability to manage a place. It's about the fact that there are several thousand kids nearby that are under 21, and he saw money. And the easiest way for him to make that money is to let them in. Because we all know, and I was 18 once too, we all know that the first thing an 18-year-old in college is looking to do is go out and find a bar that'll serve them.
And I went and looked at I looked at the hearing on May 11th, and the chairman, to quote, said, "This place was a bad problem, and I don't know how confident I am that it's not going to be again." And I said, if it came back again, we're going to be going backwards. That was in May, and here we are.
Understood. And we've proposed, you know, a rebrand. To send the message to the college community that underage drinking will not be tolerated at the establishment.
So I don't want to waste, I don't know where they are. It sounds like he's where I am. I don't want to waste your time or everybody else's here time. He's not going to be able to run this place. I can't give this license back to him. I shouldn't have gave it to him in the first place. That's on me. I'm not giving it to him again.
Chairman, if I could have Mr. Fuller address the board, you know, just briefly, I think that may be helpful. If you heard from him directly.
He certainly can address the board, but, you know, there's too many kids up there, and the last thing I need is someone to crash a car into somebody, and I gave a guy a license that I shouldn't have. But go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and fellow commissioners. First, to address the idea of the heads up. The reason why, you know, I feel that I put a lot of faith in the system that I had. You're saying that you recommended another system. I don't remember that being said. I don't have anything in my notes on that. So I was under the impression that the system that I had was working properly. I haven't had any issues with the police really before this.
Do you know how we ended up out there? You weren't on my radar. It's not like I followed you around after I gave the license to you. We ended up there because the police called us. Because they recognized the problem. But go ahead.
And I do have somewhat of a relationship with some of the police officers and stuff that, you know, nothing was ever said to me. I do try to communicate with some of the officers that walk around and the sergeants that I come in contact with about situations like this, and nothing was ever expressed to me that there were any major issues. So I would like to just very quickly read a statement that I have prepared. I'd like to start by offering an apology for the situation at hand. I understand that I have received many warnings not to make the mistake of being an establishment that allows underage drinking. It was never my intention to allow people to drink underage. I do take this very seriously, and as proof that I take this seriously, I'd like to bring to the board's attention that after the inspection on Wednesday, the 19th of October, I did voluntarily close. I understand I could have stayed open, but I didn't. I think that should show proof that I'm not out just to make a dollar. And I understand that underage drinking at universities here in New York is a problem. As far as having people trained as security guards, I think that the issue is that I misunderstood what your intent was. I did have quite a few people on staff every night to provide security. Unfortunately, I just didn't have them registered fully as security guards. I did have an ex-police officer on my front door, and it was my understanding that his training as a police officer allowed him to be a security guard. I'm now aware that additional steps needed to be taken to have him fully registered as a security guard. But this business does mean a lot to me personally. I have invested a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of money, and I would very much not like to see this go to waste. I have a very loyal staff and some very loyal customers, and in the city of Cortland, which is quite economically depressed, we are a business that brings jobs and tax dollars to the city of Cortland. And I do believe that you heard from our mayor and, as to that effect, that he has trust and faith that the steps that we're proposing to take to correct this issue are ones that will make this business successful and compliant with the law and regulation.
Counselor, do you know if the police took part in the raid of the 19th? Did they take part in that?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, no, they did. Yeah.
Okay, so whether you got a letter from the chief or not, they were there for this.
Yes. They're the ones who identified it as a problem to us.
Yeah, I'm just curious, because you're saying you didn't know there was a problem there, but the police were at your place at least a half dozen times before this evening, arresting kids or giving out tickets for illegal possession of alcoholic beverages. Did you not know that?
Were you not there?
I was aware that there were a few situations, but again, working with the police, we were able to identify that it was, that they had IDs that were scanned. But being as sparse as it was over, the course of so many months, it didn't seem like the issue was.
I'm looking at 4 reports a month before this incident.
I mean, we're not talking about a couple sales to minors here. You had 92 people in there, approximately, and all but 13 of them were under 21. I mean, you were Friday night at Cortland for the freshmen, sophomore, and juniors.
Yeah.
And Chairman,
I find it hard to believe he didn't know that.
Chairman, what we're proposing is a rebrand. And also using the software program that is directly linked to the DMV. So the scanner is in place. We know that the scanner, works other than the software. And I'm hopeful and would ask the board to consider allowing Mr. Fuller to continue operating with, the IntelliCheck software. Honestly, we've proposed a substantial fine, and hiring a manager, and also this, rebranding. So the bar has a new name and, sends a message to the community that, the same practice will not apply.
All right, we're ready, Donald.
All right, Commissioner Fan.
May I just make?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to make one additional point. So in the summary order of suspension, and I know I focused on the scanner issue, but in paragraph 4C of the suspension order, it states that there was no evidence that identification cards were being scanned at the licensed premises on October 19th. And, obviously that was factually incorrect, so I offer that as additional.
This is a hearing.
No, if you wanted to contest that, go to a hearing. You pled no contest.
Understood, and we intentionally pled no contest, but I offer that simply, when the board is considering it.
As I said before, that scanner is useless. It does nothing. It reads the card and tells you if the person is under 21 on the card. If the card is fake, it's not going to identify it. So that's not scanning.
Understood. Mr. Fuller has been in contact with IntelliCheck and has started the process. And we can assure you that IntelliCheck would be used in the event that he would be permitted to continue operating.
Okay, Don.
Commissioner Fan?
While I understand the licensee's arguments, this is a situation where you basically break every word that you give us, and then you make us the bad person by taking your license away. I mean, I'm looking at these charges. A lot of these underage drinkers are actually 18 and under, which suggests to me that you just don't care. I mean, to make a buck, you don't care. And perhaps I made a mistake last time by giving you more hours and the variety of music in May that chairman told us basically don't do it. And
no, I gave him more hours too. I voted for that. Yeah.
But you didn't give them the music, and I already made the mistake once, so someone's gonna get hurt here. So I'm gonna go with chairman, and I'm gonna cancel and bond.
Commissioner Ford?
Excuse me. I feel like we've actually overextended ourselves here to try to give you every benefit of the doubt, because we don't want to close businesses. The last thing we want to do, but I think it's our charge to make sure that the public is safe. And to the chairman's point, 18 years old, the first thing you're doing is looking for a place where you can drink. The first thing you're looking to do is find fake ID so you can get in places like that to drink. So I don't know. I don't think you're running things properly here. We've been down this road too many times, so I don't have any choice but to vote for cancel and bond as well.
And Chairman Bradley?
I'm at cancel and bond.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and Nicole, there's nothing else in Buffalo, correct?
No, that would be it.
All right, thank you. You can sign off.
All right, great, thank you.
And
Thank you.
Paula in Albany, there's no one there, correct?
That's correct, sir.
All right, you can sign off also. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paula.
Thank you, Commissioner. Take care.
Thank you. You too.
Bye, Paula. Happy holidays.
Bye-bye. You too.
All right, so next in
She may be.
people like him.
Yeah, I'm gonna remember that when I walk out of here. There won't be any tears.
Next in New York City is 1776 CHASIDIC Wine Merchants, Inc.
Leave this opposition.
Okay, can you put your name, your client's name on there?
Excuse me, Robert Romano for Hasidic Wine Merchants Incorporated.
Charles Lynn in opposition. Today with me is Tian Chen. He's the sole principal of Tian Boa Liquors INC at 488 Albany Avenue. And also with me is my other client, Dan Chen. She's the owner of W&D Liquor Inc. at 596-598 New York Avenue in Brooklyn. The opposition is based on some major issues. First of all, proximity. The public is already being well serviced by the current stores in the neighborhood. The neighborhood is Crown Heights. There are 38 stores, 38 within 1.4 miles of the applicant. I have an area survey, and I have a listing of all those stores, which are next as Exhibit A. That's 38 stores. As far as demographics are concerned, applicant zip code is 11203, and the adjacent zip code is 11225. They both evidence stagnant population growth over the last 9 years between 2020 and 2019, and I have those tables set forth as Exhibit B. There was a recent disapproval. The liquor store application of L&W 333 Corp. at 333 Albany Avenue in Brooklyn under serial number 133001 was just 0.7 miles from applicant, and that was recently disapproved by the full board on September 15th, 2021, based upon public convenience and advantage. As far as gross sales are concerned, my client Tiaboa Liquors does show an increase in gross sales, but it should be pointed out that a substantial portion of these increases is due to inflation and not totally an evidence of increased demand for alcoholic beverages. The loss, the cost.
Let me go back to what you just said, because I'll give him in 2020 he got an enormous bump for COVID. The bump continued in 2021, but went down a little bit. But now it looks like it's continuing.
And that's what I pointed out.
He's probably going to do exactly what he did in 2020 this year, if not more.
All right, if not more. So there's no great increase within the gross.
Not within the last 3 years, but certainly within the last 4.
Okay, and that's the only sales figure.
The second closest. Okay.
Second closest. And W&D has only been in existence for a year and a half, so we have no gross sales history with regards to that store.
That actually was incorrect. It's they've been licensed since 2017. It was transferred.
On a transfer. Yeah. No, I didn't say that they were new on transfer.
So we don't. You're right. We don't know what they're doing. Okay, go ahead.
This Crown Heights area has 38 liquor stores within 1.4 miles. You would need data from a vast majority of those other stores before one can say that there is discernible evidence that the amount of alcoholic beverages has increased, and this is after in order to support the applicant's contention that a 39th store is needed in this community. The argument that the possible argument that the applicant has 545 square feet of space devoted to retail would be a space that would be considered as a small footprint. But I beg to differ with that fact in that most of the stores in this Crown Heights area are basically smaller stores, 800 to 900 square feet total, and that they are pretty much mom and pop stores. There is, however, one additional store, which is very important. It's Empire Carnival Wine and Liquor at 873 Empire Boulevard. It's 0.7 miles from the applicant, and it's a huge box store, and it's basically dealing with an enormous variety of kosher wines, which is basically all the stores deal with kosher, so in some extent to kosher wines in the Crown Heights area. As far as public convenience and advantage, there's no evidence that applicant will be supplying any new lines of product or any new services that the current 38 stores of applicant are now supplying. There's no evidence of increased demand for alcoholic beverages based upon population. There's no real evidence of increased demand for alcoholic beverages based upon revenue reports from nearby stores, other than, as the chairman mentioned, the one store that's third closest that does have somewhat considerable increase in sales, but that also has been somewhat stagnant. There's no showing that the public is not being adequately served by the existing 38 stores that's only within a radius of 1.4 miles. So based upon all the foregoing, it would appear that public convenience and advantage will not be served by licensing this applicant.
Thank you.
Thank you. Charles.
And just so the record's clear, we did get 2 protests. You're only representing 1, right?
I represent 2 liquor stores,
Oh, okay.
TOA and
Yeah,
WD.
okay.
Yes.
Robert Romano. I'm here with Moisha Goldberg, who is the principal of Hasidic Wine Merchants Incorporated. If I may, we got yesterday a letter of support from State Senator Zelnor Myrie. I can provide that to the board. And I apologize, I just got it.
Thank you.
Okay, so very briefly, Mr. Goldberg would like to introduce himself to the board so you can get a taste of the principal.
Yeah, thank you. Moishe Goldberg, born and raised in Crown Heights. Been here all my life, 33 years. Worked in, growing up, my father was a refugee from the Nazis, then the communists, then escaped to France, where he actually made some wine. All my life, he would always fascinate us with the stories of using all the bits. My mother also made wine when she was a kid, when there wasn't anything available. So this was always a dream of mine. Unfortunately, there just never had the opportunity until COVID, when my previous career was on its tail end. And I was around the neighborhood and saw the immense growth in the southern part of Crown Heights as my synagogue moved down there. And I saw how many people there were there and not a single liquor store. When COVID couldn't I was walking around the neighborhood and saw on Fridays, when everyone was the immense lines on the only 2 stores serving the Jewish neighborhood in Crown Heights, and realized that this would be a great opportunity to finally bring my dream to fruition.
You plan on just selling strictly kosher products? Is that your line of business?
By Jewish law, I'm only allowed to sell kosher wines.
And what about alcohol?
Same
thing.
Spirits.
In alcohol and spirits, well, most alcohol
Is kosher,
kosher, but it's primarily it's the wine market, and that's very strict rules about that.
So you're saying you primarily will be selling wine?
No, it would be a combination, but I guess the majority, over 50%, would probably be the wines. Yeah.
Thank you.
I would like to point out this would be a retail space, 545 square feet. Mr. Lynn represents 1, maybe 2. The second and third closest stores are bulletproof. This would be an open store. In that regard, the square footage really of your stores is really irrelevant in terms of customer experience. This, again, would be a neighborhood store owned by a gentleman who lives 5 blocks from the store, was born in Crown Heights. As far as density, and I can understand that being a concern, with regard to density, you have, just last week, this board approved, the chairman voted to deny, but the board as a whole approved an application that was 460 feet away from the nearest store. In this case, you have 6 stores.
They voted to approve it.
They voted to approve.
No, I understand that, but if I recall correctly, another store had closed. I was voting not to put.
I think a year previous.
Yeah, correct. I was voting not to put another.
Right, I
store in
mentioned
there
that.
again.
That's correct, and that was Christopher Street.
Correct.
No, I remember it.
Correct.
But
And
here we're talking about
totally
adding one.
different.
No one's closed.
Right. But you also have, at that one, you had 6 stores and 830 feet.
Yeah, these are further away.
Right.
What's the deal with the building? Our records indicate there's no windows in the building.
There will be windows in the building. There will be a brand-new storefront. We have an estimate, which I think I supplied to the board. There's an estimate there, and that they will that check will be written, if this is approved, that check will be written immediately. I mean, they know it obviously would be a condition of approval, that they have to put up a glass storefront, and they will do that.
Which isn't my rule, but.
No, but it is the rules, and we follow the rules.
Okay.
And again, I supplied to the board the numbers that this area, Crown Heights, the density is actually almost twice the density of the average density in Brooklyn. We have letters of endorsement, which we've given you from a city council member, state assembly member, the Crown Heights Jewish Community Council, and the Crown Heights Retailers Association. And with us today is Jesse Kaufman of the Crown Heights Retailers Association, who just wants to say a word.
Good morning. My name is Jesse Kaufman from Ballistock and Kaufman, 251 Troy Avenue, Brooklyn, New York. Our law office is located in the northern section of Hasidic Crown Heights, and we represent the Crown Heights Retailers Association. We're here in support of Mr. Goldberg's application for the new license. This area of the neighborhood has seen tremendous growth over the last 5 and 10 years, which once used to be the southern boundary of the neighborhood is now the focal point. You have one of the largest kosher supermarkets on the same block where this potential applicant will be, called the Marketplace. And there has been a lot of new housing also put up on that block. I think 3, I want to call them towers, but very large apartment buildings. And even further to the south, the neighborhood, I mean, there's been hundreds and hundreds of families to even move further south of East New York. So the population has really grown over there. Also on that block, the retailers have included Brooklyn Artisan Bakehouse, which is a eatery. There's a dentist, there's a gym, there's a new synagogue. I mean, there's many new synagogues. So we believe that there is a large and a gap within this area serving for kosher wine. Specifically, the Jewish community has wine every week for Friday night, Shabbos day, at all of the celebrations. And so wine is a very big thing. So there's a gap in this area of the neighborhood that would really be fulfilled by opening this new retailer. There's also the one other store, which is one of the closest ones, is not even opposing this application.
Can I ask you, sir, what is your role here? I'm sorry.
I represent the Crown Heights Retailers Association. I'm
Okay.
an attorney to them. They've asked me to come and speak on
And
their
they
behalf.
sent a letter in too.
Yes, I also did send a letter in.
Okay.
And you represent over 100.
There's over 100 local businesses that are within the association,
Yeah.
and we just we believe that there is
Including liquor stores.
including a liquor store, and that we really see that there is a need for it in the south side, southern area of the neighborhood. And since Mr. Goldberg is born and bred within the neighborhood, has strong roots to the community, lives within the community, and he really relishes an opportunity to serve his community and his peers.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
What's the, Mr. Romano, you're not,
I'm not saying anything, I'm not bothering anybody.
are you having trouble hearing? I mean, you don't need to get in a guy's suit.
But because you never let me come up, so I think if I inch over a little bit, maybe you'll let me say 2 sentences.
What's his employment history? He was a volunteer at well, let me ask him.
Okay.
You're a volunteer at a hospital and that ended?
I volunteered on
You
Sundays.
gotta speak in the mic.
Oh, sorry. I volunteered there on Sundays until COVID, when all volunteering
So how
ended.
do you make your living now?
It was on Sundays I was
No, I
volunteering.
understand that. Yeah, how do you make your
explain about
living
the
now
Amazon.
before the store opens? How?
So I, while I was a jeweler, I opened, I had an investment in an online company that basically ran on its own with third-party fulfillment.
Is that the retail company in Nevada?
Correct. So that is on the tail end. Simply, it was a niche with us, and there were supply chain issues. So I'm kind of divesting from that and reinvesting all of that into the liquor store.
Okay. So you did have a job?
Yeah.
Or not a job, you had
An income.
ownership of a partial ownership of a company that brought you
It
income?
was actually initially was partial, then I took it over fully, and then kind of tapered it off so I can divest fully into the liquor.
So we ask for your approval based on public convenience and advantage.
All right, thanks. You want to
Thank you.
add, you got 2 seconds because he didn't really have anything for you to respond to.
Well, first of all, he's not bringing in any new line of product or any product that of the 38 stores, I would say maybe.
I don't want you to repeat what you've already.
30 stores? No,
How
I'm
many
saying.
of the 38 stores are kosher
And,
stores?
and I was just going to mention, he just mentioned, the other gentleman just mentioned that you have the marketplace store right on the same block, a large kosher store. I already mentioned to you.
And they sell beer?
They sell, excuse me?
Do they sell alcohol or no?
I'm just saying what the gentleman.
I don't think so.
And Empire Carnival is the store that is 0.7 miles away. That's the major store, every variety of kosher product that there
Where
is.
is that on your?
It's not within the, it's 0.7 miles. It's not on my closest 8 stores. It's on my map,
Yeah, but
yes.
it's got to be on this.
Yes, it is.
Which one?
There's also a listing of that.
It's also 14 blocks.
But you don't have the map memorized?
Well, you're really being tough on me today. Maybe I should retire. Maybe I should retire. I'm commissioner.
I'm trying to do the work. I'm trying to look at the location of the.
Yes, I
building. I'm trying
apologize.
to-
By the way, my client
Bear
has
with
lived
me
in
a
this
sec.
area his whole life. He's never even heard of the store. It's 14 blocks away.
Empire Carnival Wines and Liquors at 873 Empire Boulevard is on my list as the number 7th closest store.
Okay.
0.7 miles from applicant.
I see it. 245 Empire.
And of course, it has a small footprint. Almost all the stores there have a small footprint. So why in the world would we need a 39 store into the Crown Heights area? And also, I'm Jewish. He has accumulated representations from all Jewish associations, which is fine, but the whole area is a very large, very strong Jewish community. The letter that I just saw from New York State is, kind of esoteric. It doesn't really address public convenience advantage. It doesn't say, well, our area is not being well serviced with kosher wines for our community, anything like that. It says, yeah, we look to have new businesses come in. So those are the only comments that I make, that, not to have these general esoteric discussions. It should be more towards exactly what this store is, where it is, will it provide the public with some new product or new service. In addition to that, he's limited in experience too. So he's not going to bring anything new to this area.
All right, thank you. Mr. Romano, I don't need anything. All right, Donald, let's go.
Commissioner Fan?
Judging from the growth of the neighboring stores, I think the community can probably support one more small store. So I'm gonna vote in the affirmative.
Commissioner Ford?
I'm going to go with support of Council Member Rita Joseph, Assemblyman Brian Cunningham, and I'll discount the Crown Heights Jewish Community Council and Crown Heights Retailers Association, all right? Nothing against them, but for my argument anyway, and also State Senator Myrie. So I'm going to vote to approve as well.
Chairman Bradley?
I'm going to vote to approve. What really didn't get discussed here is the 2 of the 3 closest stores are bulletproof. This is not going to be bulletproof. I myself don't see much public convenience and advantage in bulletproof stores. So adding this very, very small store to this neighborhood, I think, does give public convenience and advantage, because there is an advantage to being able to walk through the store and handle the product and see what you want.
I just want to, is this approved subject to?
The windows,
The
yes.
window.
And also being kosher or not?
No.
No.
That won't matter.
Now I lost my train of thought. Oh, and also because he does have significant support from the local electeds, who may not know public convenience and advantage, but they know if there's gonna be a problem with another liquor store, or if they have too many and they're causing problems already. Not to mention that the sales, I disagree with Mr. Lynn, I see the sales, at least of the two closest stores increasing. And certainly the fourth closest store is also increasing. The third closest store, we don't really have any numbers on, but that's enough for me to see added demand for products in Crown Heights. So I vote to approve as well.
I want to add, I concur with the chairman, and those were my thoughts too about the fact that it's non-bulletproof and the fact it is a really small footprint of a store.
Good luck.
So good luck.
I just want to say one thing to Commissioner Ford. No, you've not only been a gentleman, you're a mensch, and it was a pleasure. It really was a pleasure working.
Thank you very much.
For you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
I'm going to tell my
Congratulations.
Jewish mother-in-law you should call me a mensch.
We're going to go on
Get
a
points.
brief recess. We'll be back shortly.
Thank you.
All right, we're back on the record after a brief recess. Next is 1775 W&G Wines LLC.
What number again? I'm sorry.
1775.
Good year.
Good morning, members. I'm Phil Dorn, attorney with Pizetsky and Bookman. With me is Owen Wright, the owner of W&G Wines LLC. I'd like to address 2 quick points as to why this removal application.
Let me just stop you for a second. Is there anyone in opposition here? Okay, go ahead.
Just 2 quick points as to why this removal application should be approved. One is in regards to the public convenience and advantage, and 2 is the lack of objections to this application, as you just noted.
I don't know. Are you good? No. All right, Donald, we're ready to vote on this.
All right, Commissioner Fan,
I'm gonna vote in the affirmative.
Commissioner Ford,
Approved.
and Chairman Bradley.
I don't see any, there's no opposition. They're moving 1,500 feet away,
Smaller
or
footprint.
1,600 feet away, almost 600 feet. The 4 closest stores will change, but they're taking up a smaller store. And the reason is they want better access for the foot traffic. I don't see any objections, so I'm going to vote to approve.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And you can tell Rob and Max that you were.
Oh, they're watching.
They're watching.
Yes. Next is 1779 Wine Rhino LLC.
Good morning. David Weizenhofer with Wine Rhino LLC, DBA Community Wine and Spirits. Do you think there's opposition here?
Me, yes. Charles Lynn in opposition. I was hoping to have my client here. He's caught in traffic. And I asked him if he could get here and within a half hour, and he can't. And he just said, proceed without him if I can.
Who's your client?
It's Hudson Yards Liquors at 557 West 23rd Street. And the principal owner is Uruki Bahasin, excuse me.
Okay, go ahead.
There are 7 currently licensed liquor stores within 0.4 miles of applicant. That listing is from the SLA LAMP site, and area survey is annexed here to as Exhibit A. Of the 4 closest stores, 2 are only 0.2 miles away from applicant, and the next 2 are just 0.3 miles away from the applicant. The address of many of the closest stores do not state the cross streets, which will encompass the closeness, will evidence the closeness of the stores to applicant. Applicant is at 19th Street and 10th Avenue, Midtown Spirits. The closest store is at 9th Avenue and between 20th and 21st Street, only 0.2 miles from applicant. And Hudson Yards at 557 West 23rd Street is at 23rd Street between 10th and 11th Avenue, a little more than 0.2 miles from applicant, and was just recently licensed on May 20th, 2020, a little over 2 years ago. The decision of the full board on July 28th, 2021, more than a year ago, in the matter of Snowy's Inc., serial number 133278, at location 156 10th Avenue, just a block and a half from applicant, was determined that the current stores were adequately serving the area. That applicant was denied unanimously for public convenience and advantage. Nothing with regards to the proximity of these stores or gross sales figures has changed since that application, and I put the exhibit as Exhibit B as part of my presentation. It was emphasized also on that case that Hudson Yards Liquors, the second closest store, was just licensed by the authority on May 20th, 2020. It should now be emphasized that a conditional letter of approval was emailed to Death Avenue Wine Corp, serial number 1339444 at 317 10th Avenue, as recently as September 19th, 2022. Only 2 months ago. Applicant is at 140 10th Avenue, This new applicant that received the conditional letter approval is at 347 10th Avenue, just 0.5 miles away. The second reason for the disapproval of the application of Snowy's was that there was no discernible increase in gross sales with the 4 closest stores, even with the prior store at that address being gone out of business with cancellation of its license on June 6, 2020. And again, the gross sales numbers now are not definitive of any increase in demand for alcoholic beverages in this community, and I have that part as my Exhibit C. Attached here to and marked as Exhibit D sets forth no increase in population in this community up to 2019. Although as construction development has gone in this area, residents moved out in droves during COVID, and not all have returned, and many of the new residence units still remain vacant. Here we have proximity of current stores, prior gross sales figures, and lack of any discernible growth in population, all would base the fact that the board should decide that public convenience and advantage would not be served by licensing this applicant.
Thank you.
Sort of like meeting the cast of my favorite TV show. I watched a lot of SLA hearings on YouTube and really tried to understand what convenience means and thought about that a lot, what the neighborhood is. I think really, as I understand it, convenience seems to be coming down to proximity and what the goods and services are that are being offered. In terms of the numbers, as I've looked at the numbers that were audited, Midtown Wine and Spirits didn't submit numbers, it looks like, but their last year does show growth, but more or less they're right around 1.5. Chelsea Wine Company wasn't fully, a winery company wasn't fully operational because they're inside a mall. So I'm not sure those are very good numbers that we can use or sort of imperfect data. Hudson Yards and Liquors shows really pretty good growth, right? If you round out that first year for a full year, they're probably more at 1.2 million. They jumped to 1.6 million. If you factor in the fourth quarter being 35 to 40% of total sales, they should round up this year better than they did last year. Alga Wine and Spirits, they're doing fantastic, 2.5, 2.4, 2.0, and then they went to 2.5 last year, big jump last year. And then they should be on pace to do about 2.6 million this year. So, but their best year since 2018, again, using that 35 to 40% growth in O&D. So you do see growth. And I know that Commissioner Ford, you've talked sometimes about a post-COVID slump. You're not seeing that here. This is I've seen hearings where people come up and they say they've lost $200,000 after 2020 because people started going out to eat in different reasons, but we're not seeing that here at all. And the reason is that there's really pretty good growth within the neighborhood, residents moving in, businesses moving in. In terms of convenience, where this store would be located, there are no full liquor licenses on 10th Avenue. And it's kind of hard to imagine that on any other avenue in New York City. If I were on 72nd Street and 2nd Avenue, I would not think that I have to go over to another avenue, 3rd or 1st, to find a liquor store. I think I'd be able to walk 5 blocks in any direction and find a liquor store. But from the beginning of 10th Avenue until you get to 37th Street, there is no full liquor license on 10th Avenue. In addition to that, like if you just went...
Liquor store or no full liquor license?
Full liquor license, wine and liquor.
Liquor store.
Right, liquor store.
There's no liquor store either. There's no straight liquor store, like liquor.
No, she's asking, is there restaurants that?
Oh, I'm sorry, I apologize.
Yeah.
Stores,
You're talking
retail.
about liquor stores.
Off premise, yes.
And we do have the conditional letter of approval on that recent store.
But I believe that's just a wine license. And it's also over 10 blocks away. So in other words, also I've done the walk. If you're on between 9th and 10th Avenue on 18th Street, it would be a 20-minute round trip to get a bottle of wine for your dinner. If you're on 18th or 17th or 16th, it's even further. If you were on 12th Street, you shouldn't have to walk 10 blocks to the nearest liquor store and up an avenue. It's just too far for New York City. In addition, there's a lot of growth that's coming. This neighborhood in the New York City pipeline of units to be completed ranks second in all of New York City, right behind Long Island City, with an additional 3,500 units on the way. Across the street directly from this proposed location are 181 new units that opened up September last year. Google has now expanded their workforce by 2,000 people, bringing their total workforce to 14,000 people in the area. Then you have the High Line, Chelsea Market, et cetera, that's there. In Manhattan, over the last 10 years, has grown 7.7%. Manhattan community.
So let me ask you this while you're talking about all these developments. Your store, proposed store, is going to be the largest store, at least within the 4 closest stores, by a significant amount. Why does this area, we turned down a store on 10th Avenue in this year, or was it this year? No, I'm sorry, March of 2021.
A year and a half ago, right.
And which was significantly smaller than what you're proposing. And I'm trying to figure out why this area needs a 4,500 square foot store.
So it's
given that we've added a store recently, we turned down one, and we also have a wine store that we opened up or are about to open up that's 10 blocks from you.
Sure, I can address that. The store size is 3,400 square feet, not 4,500, with 2,800 square feet of retail. Start with.
What your application description of the premises indicates that it's 4,021 square feet.
It includes that's including the basement.
Which you're going to be able to store.
That's correct.
Booze in, correct?
That's correct. To start with the application that you denied at Snowy's, at the time I watched that hearing, at the time the concern was you just none of you were sure what the numbers were going to be. People were basically just getting their vaccinations at that point. There was a lot of uncertainty about what was happening post-COVID, and the numbers were what you were concerned about. And what I've shown here is that the numbers of the other stores are all showing growth, and so there is room for spillover, number one. Number two, the store size is important because of the experience that we're creating. We're offering different goods in the store, and we're also offering an interactive, immersive space to help people learn about the wines and shop for the wines, and also different kinds of interactions with the alcohol. So it's really a much more interactive, different store experience. There's no store like this that I know of anywhere, and if there is a place for it to be done, it's in Manhattan. This is where we can see not just the benefit to the neighborhood, but I think also, I really do believe this is a rising tide situation where we're not decreasing the pie, we're increasing the pie. We're adding incremental business where we can bring people from Jersey City or Staten Island because they want to come here and have this experience in the store. So that's I think the quick answer to the Snowy's question. In addition, Manhattan Community District 4 has seen 22.8% growth in occupied housing, which is a huge surge, right? There's just a lot of people that are moving into this neighborhood and have already moved into this neighborhood, and a lot of new businesses, new restaurants directly across the street. So that's sort of my argument on convenience in terms of proximity. In terms of goods and services, I do want to point out that aside from the store being very, very different in terms of experience, things that we will have that the other stores don't have. We will have the largest Pacific Northwest section that I know of in New York City.
The largest what?
Pacific Northwest, Oregon, Washington State. And I've heard people come up here and talk about differentiating by having orange wine or natural wine. I have not heard any of the hearings that anyone's focusing on this. It's where I grew up. It's sort of what got me into wine and spirits. We'll have roughly 10 times the number of Pacific Northwest wines as any of the closest stores. None of the other stores offer a meeting space. This is really key. We intend to offer wine seminars. We've taken informal polls. We've put QR codes on our windows so that people can take the poll. They've told us that they would be interested in attending wine classes, not just so they can learn about wine, but so they can meet their neighbors. No other stores offer glassware. We're working on an exclusive partnership with an Italian glassware company to offer fine glassware, both handmade and machine-made. So this is not available at any store. I've been to all the stores that have been listed, and they don't offer this good. There are no monthly wine or spirits clubs being offered by any of these stores. And then again, there is this immersive space that I think is going to be sort of a magnet to the neighborhood. I think it's going to be something that really differentiates, who comes to Chelsea and why they come there to shop for wine and spirits. I want to say one last thing is that I'm very much a pro-margin business person. I think at our size, none of our stores win in a race to the bottom. You know, we're not Costco or Walmart, right? And so what that means by definition is I can price fairly, but I'm also hoping to not have to find pricing parity with my neighbors. It then forces me to go to look for product differentiation. That's part of the reason behind Pacific Northwest Wines. Is why we'll have a lot of products that are not the same as others so that we can all make our margins, right? And in this way, we all stay in business.
Members ready to vote?
Yes.
All right, Commissioner Fan?
While I'm excited about your business model and what it may be able to do, the numbers of the neighboring stores just don't justify another store. Midtown is barely doing 2018 numbers. Chelsea Winery, whatever reason we give it, it's.
But Midtown didn't suggest.
About 20-30% of sales. Hudson Yards, it's 22 is not necessarily going to even beat 21, and the fourth closest store is doing only 90% of what it did in 18, so I don't see public convenience or advantage.
Commissioner Fan, may I?
The members are voting.
Unreasonable to make an argument that people from parking houses are going to go into the store that is essentially super high-end to buy their alcohol, so as much as I would love to have this store in my neighborhood, this is my area, but I'm just not seeing public convenience advantage. I'm going to vote to deny.
Commissioner Ford?
The numbers we got from the closest store through 2020, we didn't get anything beyond that. Looked pretty healthy to me. Second closest store, which is larger than what you're doing, looks to me like they're doing pretty well too. I don't know, I'm looking at the numbers and I think that public convenience advantage could be served, so I'm going to vote to approve.
And Chairman Bradley?
We all looking at the same thing?
I know.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at.
May I add that
I'm going to vote to approve based on your method of operation. I was not going to, but I looked at your diagram. Should your diagram or your layout of your store change in any way, you're going to get violated. The only reason you're getting the store is because of your method of operation that you're talking about with classes and meeting rooms and things of that nature. So I'm going to vote to approve, but I would make sure that you're doing what you say you're going to be doing.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I'd like to also add that in this process, I don't know when it was organized, but the SLA website I thought was really pretty helpful. The application wizard, I was able to follow it. And when I had questions, the SLA was very prompt in getting back to me and responsive. So I wanted to thank everyone for whoever made that happen. Thank you.
Thank you for saying that.
And I know the chairman.
I have a big problem with the website.
I do too. I know the chairman doesn't want me to say anything, but I'd like to
No, you
say,
can. I don't care.
which is the same response I get when I give my argument.
That I do have issues with, but if you're going to applaud him, that's fine.
Yes, I would wish the best for you, Commissioner. You've been honorable, which is most important, very, very fair. And Commissioner Fan probably said the most important things. You exerted a tremendous amount of time, effort, because I don't think the community knows the amount of time you people have to expend on all of these matters, and you don't get paid almost anything for it. And I think it's important that the public should further be aware of it. But I believe you're going to be a loss to the board, and I appreciate everything you've done. You don't yell at me the way the chairman does, but it was greatly appreciated, and I wish you the best of luck in the future.
Thank you, Mr. Lynn, so much. Thank you very much.
All right, next is 1768 AMK Trading Corp.
Good morning.
Yeah, well, Donald, I think we're ready to vote on this.
I'm going to vote to
Can they at least put their
support
names?
your move.
Yeah, go put your name on the
record
record.
at least.
Put your name up.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, Frank Nalaveco,
representative for AMK Trading.
And who's with
We
you?
have the store manager, this is James Joyce, and we have the vice president and owner, this is Chandeep Paradil.
Okay, go ahead, Donna, we're ready to vote.
All right, Commissioner Fan.
I'm gonna vote in the affirmative.
And Commissioner Ford
Approved.
and Chairman
I'm
Bradley.
gonna vote to approve. They're moving 677 feet because the lease has been terminated and the 4 closest stores are not changing, so there's no change in really anything. Good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you for coming in.
Next is 1753 Fournier Post number 418. Someone sign in for this? 1753.
You said 1753?
Yeah, make sure it's right. Lawrence McGrath, Michael Carroll. That's right. Right, American Legion Horning.
Actually, this is Horse and Jockey.
Oh. Wrong. So that's actually 1741.
1741?
Yep, 1741 Horse and Jockey Inc.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. Oh, it's okay. Yep. Yeah.
Okay, good, go ahead, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is an application for an on-premise liquor license within 500 feet of 3 similar establishments requiring a public interest element. The applicant, Mr. Lawrence McGrath, who is with me, is a board member of the Gaelic Athletic Association, a local sports organization, also a member of the Woodlawn
I'm
Golf
sorry, can you just slow
Association.
down and speak up just a tiny bit?
Of course.
Please don't
He's
touch
a
the
member,
Oh, I
he's a board
apologize.
member of what?
The Gaelic Athletic Association, a local sports organization, a league, and also the Woodlawn Golf Association. Both local organizations, Mr. McGrath has plans to hold their board meetings at his establishment. The Horse and Jockey is also attached to the Emerald Isle Immigration Center, a local not-for-profit formed by my law firm. Mr. McGrath has offered to hold staging of their hot meal deliveries.
Not to cut you off, but let me cut to the chase with
Oh,
both of my
please.
questions, okay? The ALJ concluded that not met the burden of proof in part because the stipulations with the community board, that they're not clear and defined.
Correct.
Can we address that? Can we try to
Yes.
clear that up?
Absolutely.
Okay.
The administrative law judge stated that given the inartful drafting of the community board stipulations, clarification was necessary. That's why we're here today.
Okay.
Mr. McGrath contacted the community board. In an email dated November 18th, Mr. George Torres, the district manager for the community board, informed Mr. McGrath that the community board was not recommending security personnel or bouncers be hired, but that if a bouncer is hired, the bouncer should be vetted by the appropriate state agency and ID scanners used.
It's all standard stuff. Yep. Okay.
So what about hours
That wasn't an issue, I believe. It's-
for the board?
No.
Okay.
No.
So they're basically saying that if you want security, you can have security, but just make sure it's licensed security.
That is correct.
Which is the law anyway.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So.
All right. What is this, a horse race theme place?
No, it's just a local
I'll
tavern.
talk to the
It's been there-
microphone.
Sure.
Sorry.
Please.
Sorry. It's been there 40 years as an Irish tavern for the
You
New
don't
York.
think there's enough of those around?
Well, there's, yeah,
I'm
the New,
kidding.
it's an Irish neighborhood. The New York GEA is involved and they hold the club meetings there, you know, and minor board meetings are held there for the parents that serves all over America. They have their youth competitions, Buffalo, Chicago, San Francisco, and there's a room there that they always used. The lady that was running the place has passed away. I took it over and I just redone, painted it and just kept it the same. It's just a tavern. It'll be more looking at the Irish games coming over from Ireland and
No,
people.
cool. All right, Donald, I think we're ready.
Commissioner Fan.
You're gonna self-manage or you're gonna hire an experienced manager?
I'm going to hire an experienced manager and myself, yes.
And yourself?
Yes, but I'm going to hire, there'll be a full-time manager there running the.
Okay, and you're still gonna run your construction business?
Yes, yes, I am.
So when you get the manager, make sure you file a personal questionnaire with us, for the manager, just so we have it.
Okay.
Are you open now?
No, I've been waiting for the license since.
Okay,
July.
and then you agreed with the community board that you're not gonna do bottle service and no dancing and no rope lines outside, is that right?
Yes, there's no play, yeah, there's no room for dancing, there's no live music, it's jukebox.
Okay,
It's
and
just
that-
been the same as been there before.
And that you will not use a third-party promoter?
No,
Okay, and then you, as you said, use security guard as needed, and file the personal questionnaire for the manager. And with that, I'm gonna vote to approve. Subject that you will have an experienced manager, recorded music, juice box music, no dancing, no private events, no third-party promoters, 2 a.m. across the board.
Commissioner Ford,
Ditto.
Chairman Bradley.
This also, just for the record, is supported by Senator Kennedy, who I did get, received a phone call about from last night. And I will vote to approve on the same grounds. Is that good?
yes, thank you very much.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck.
And Mr. Ford, I believe you've accomplished your task based on the sincerity of the people that work for you. Their emotions seem genuine, that they loved working with you. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is 1742 Yarden Inc.
Good morning, Honorable Board. My name is Mitchell Shelowitz with Shelowitz Law Group. We are counsel to Yarden Inc., which has submitted an application for a wholesale distribution license. And we understand that there were some questions regarding prior licensure by the board in connection with lack of timely updates regarding office moves and changes of executive personnel. And I could tell you that as a result of the past, there is now the future, where there is a new CEO. There's a new application.
Is there, so you listed a CEO and a vice president?
That's
But
correct.
this corporation doesn't have a president, a secretary, or treasurer?
That is correct.
And where are they?
One of them is physically, where are they?
No, I mean, are there people in those positions?
No, there are not.
No, and I'm asking, where are the two people that are in positions? Why aren't they here? I mean, what's put down as what they've done previously as adverse history, which isn't adverse history because we weren't aware of it, so they hadn't been charged for it, is enough not to give them this license. Yet they're not going to come in here and try to explain it?
Well, the
So here's the
CEO,
deal. I'm going to give you one shot.
sure.
January 4th to bring both of them in. And they're going to explain what went on here.
Well, if I may.
It's not going to help
Chairman.
because I want to hear it from them because they're not here. And I wonder why they're not here.
Well, the CEO is a new CEO. He's new to the company.
Well, then he should investigate what went on.
And he has, and what we have done is we've adopted a compliance policy in July
That's
2019.
all fine and good, but that's a compliance policy after you had years of non-compliance.
Agreed.
I want to hear what happened during
Agreed.
those years.
Despite the fact that there are no personnel from those years that are still with the company? Okay.
And where are they in the United States? Both of
The
these
CEO
officers?
is not in the United States.
Where
and
is that person?
He's in Israel.
And when's he coming back?
That's where he lives.
And where is
And-
Miss Gerard?
And she lives in the United States. I believe that I'm not sure if she's in New York right now, but she does live in the United
So who runs
States.
this place when they're not here?
Well, they run it remotely, and there are personnel there, but
Which may
Well,
be half the
she's
problem.
been with the company since 2016.
she has, but not as she has a title of vice president, but she was only appointed as an officer in August of 2022, August 24th by board resolution. So she had no authority.
No. In her personal questionnaire, she's been in the title of vice president since 2016.
That is correct, that was her title, but she was not an officer positioned under the.
Well, that's what a vice president is, an officer of the corporation.
In her case, she was a vice president
I
in
think you're
title.
getting back to the chairman's point. Is
Sure.
that this, because I reviewed this application.
Thank you.
Okay? Well, you don't want to thank me because
Because he shouldn't be reviewing applications. The reason he did is
Yeah,
because this
because
was
this
such
is
a
a mess.
mess.
they changed officers, they moved their business around, like whenever they felt like it.
And that's fine if you're making clothes. But unfortunately, they're in a business that is a controlled substance that we're supposed to be regulating, and you can't make those changes and not tell us.
We concur. And,
I know, but you're hired by them to represent them. I want to talk to them, both of them. So if he's not going to be back from Israel, then we need to make it a later date.
Okay.
You can certainly contact Donald if you need a later date, but right now it's 1/4.
Mr. Fan and Ford, you okay with that?
Yep.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Next is 1725 Blue City Lounge Corp. That's another one. 1725 Jennifer Martinez.
No, Blue City.
Blue City Lounge, Corona, New York.
That
So who signed it up?
Jennifer Martinez?
Yes.
All right.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry.
Is that,
I thought you were leaving.
Don, is this screen here just for us? Is that camera? It's kind of.
Yeah.
That's just for us, though. That's not.
That's for us, and it's not blurry on the.
And the Blue Angel. She's actually from Blue Angel.
So what's
Oh.
the name of the corporation?
Blue Angel Lounge Corp.
Did you sign the wrong one up or?
No.
Oh, okay.
Which
Well,
one?
then let's do this one anyway. No, you don't represent no, we're gonna do the one he called.
Oh,
It's a new application for you guys, right?
no, it's a method of operation.
The method of operation change?
Hours change.
I had to look for that right quick.
All right, go do the next one. Forget it. If somebody sign this up, let it
Oh,
stay.
1769.
No, I think the names were just so.
Blue Angel.
Yep, 1769.
So what are we doing?
1769. Yeah.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Good morning. This is Gene Anton. Good to see you guys again. Congratulations to Commissioner Ford, Mr. Bradley, Commissioner Bradley. Good luck in the future. I represent the applicant, Blue Angel Lounge Corp. This is to extend their hours of operation. They're currently closed at 2 and stop selling at 1. And they're looking to extend the hours from Thursday to Saturday up until 4 a.m. and stop serving at 3 a.m.
Have you started an amendment to that agreement with the community board yet?
Yes, we did. We submitted what their version of a stipulation is, which is a notarized letter.
Yep.
I think it's in the package, but if it's not,
Let me see. I didn't scroll down far enough.
it's a letter dated December 15th, 2021.
I don't know that I have that.
I don't have it either. We have nothing from the community board.
Yeah.
Which is why I asked, I guess.
Well, it's not from the community board. It's the community board requested a notarized letter from us. It's their version of the stipulation.
But it's nothing that they've countersigned or,
No, they don't, not this community board. I've never seen a counter signature from them.
what community board is this?
But you have an agreement with them before.
Yes. It's more or less the same thing. That's how they do it. Community Board
But
3
they
is.
didn't-
they
So you're
want-
saying there's a document that they countersigned?
No, there is no document that they countersigned. They want us to submit a letter, a notarized letter to them.
Here's the thing. I'm looking at a letter from the community board dated December 27, 2017, where it has the 2 a.m., the hours that we have now. 2 a.m. closing, security, all right? So they did send a letter.
And the reason they did that was because the last 2 licenses here were a nightmare for them and us.
I don't have a copy of that letter, but I don't think
No,
they sent
that's
that.
from when she got the license.
Right.
But the point he's making is, if you're going to now try to move those hours to 4 a.m., they clearly had an interest of what her hours were.
Yes.
So you need to get something from them that says, you know what? We have no problem with her being open till 4. Because I'm not really prepared to do that when it's clear that they think she's closing it too.
I don't think we'll have a problem getting that because she did go before the community board and she mentioned that she got majority approval from the community board to extend the hours. So I was thinking that it might be a letter in the file already from them to you.
No, you have to
But no,
look at that.
that's up to you to do that.
Okay.
So is January 4th enough time? You think you might need a little bit more than that?
Why don't we
January
go until the 18th?
Give you time to meet with the board.
The 8th. I just have to check my calendar. I'm not sure if I'm here the 18th.
February 1st is after that.
I'm here the 18th.
Okay,
So we're going to do the 18th.
thank you.
Now, she
Okay.
doesn't need to come back with you if you have that letter.
Very
Otherwise,
good.
she probably does.
Okay, thank you.
Or you don't need to come, you guys decide. As long as we have the letter,
Right.
it's gonna be done very easily.
Yeah.
Very good, thank you. And good luck, everyone. Just like my old joke, are you going to remain BFFs, Bradley, Ford, and Fan?
Say that again?
Are you going to remain BFFs, Bradley, Ford, and Fan?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Until next year, happy holidays.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next is 1792 DeHong LLC.
Good morning, Terrence Flynn Jr. on behalf of the applicant. I don't believe there's opposition here, but you may want to ask for the record.
I don't see any, go ahead.
Okay.
I don't know if we got any.
Previously licensed.
We made a submission to you showing that the location of this store is by two large shopping centers with two parking garages right across the street, that the population has increased in the area. We also submitted showing there is a great deal of residential development in the area with over 2,000 new units. There had been a store about a block and a half away up until about the end of 2017 when the developers of these malls bought them out. This store is now going back in that area. The store intends to serve not only the area, but all the people who go to these shopping malls to shop, which is right across the street. And the store is going to be a little bit different, is that most of the stores in the area cater to the Asian community. You have a statement from the client in there as to how his store is going to be different and that how he wants to carry more New York product. The other stores are a good distance away from this location, and we're happy to answer any other questions you may have.
Who owns the building?
I'm sorry?
Who owns the building?
Us, me and a couple of partners, like 3 partners total.
I see.
Yeah,
So
then-
you're the same person who owns the
Correct.
building?
Yes.
But you have a different address.
Go ahead.
The address is 44 College Point, right? Correct? But then because it's on the corner, it used to be a liquor store on that
The
building.
owner of the building lives at 11 Drury Lane?
Yeah, 11 Cherry Lane. That's the principal of the building. We have a couple of principals.
I see.
And then yeah.
Okay. And you said that you're not catering to Asian clientele? So who are you catering
Yes,
to?
because mostly the area in Flushing, the Four Coastal Liquor Store, they carry a lot like a lot of products that the Chinese people in the community that usually go. And then we open across the mall from Skyview Mall, and that is predominantly non-Asian. There's a lot of like people that come here, and then I feel like that's the type of population that people neglect. So I'm trying to carry some like New York-based liquor and wine, and just to, I feel like that's the big part of the population that has been neglected. So
we did get 2 protests in writing, just so the record's clear. How far away is your karaoke lounge from this?
it's at least probably like 6-8 blocks, I'll say.
So you're gonna do both?
Yeah, because I live right down the block from this building I live in Skyview, which is across the street from this liquor store.
And the building was previously licensed?
It's previously licensed as a liquor store, and then we
For 9
bought it to
years, yeah.
develop into a hotel.
I gotta tell you, it's the first time I've seen an application where the applicant says other stores appeal to the Asian community we're not going to appeal to those guys, we're going after other guys,
Well, I
so.
just feel like-
Well, the demographics have actually changed where because of the influx in the population, the Asian population has gone down to 59%, and now there's 40% that are non-Asian. So it's actually shifted slightly in that area.
I think it's a smart business move, so, anyway.
All right,
Commissioner Fan?
Since you're replacing a store and I'm gonna hold you to your square footage, retail square footage at 992. Given that all the neighboring stores are doing growing numbers, I'm going to find public convenience an advantage and vote in the affirmative.
Commissioner Ford?
I vote in the affirmative as well.
Chairman
I'm
Bradley?
going to vote to approve as well.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Ford, thank you for your service. It's been a pleasure. And to everybody on the board, I'd like to wish you a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays.
Thank you.
Happy New Year.
You too.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. You too.
Donald, just using 2 minutes.
Yep. We're going to go on a brief recess. We'll be back on the record shortly. All right, we're back on the record after a brief recess. Next item is 1778 Brooklyn Estate Center Industries, Inc.
Sorry.
1778.
morning.
Good morning.
Just put your names on the record.
Jerry Theodat.
Roger Lutchman.
I'm sorry, say that again?
You're the principals, right?
Principals, yeah.
Okay.
Well, you've been here a few times. Place has a maximum occupancy of 300 people, 299?
Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
So is it a restaurant, a nightclub? What is it?
It's a comedy-themed restaurant.
Comedy, okay.
So why do we need, for comedy, you want live music, recorded music, DJ, and patron dancing?
No, so what it is, the basis of it is it's a restaurant, but we was trying to enhance the restaurant experience to incorporate.
The problem, and that isn't I'm not saying it's a bad idea. The problem is the last license here was canceled, and the method of operation you guys are proposing, it was canceled because it turned into a nightclub, and the neighbors didn't, the PD didn't like it. and
They used to be here, too.
Oh, they were part of
No,
the
they were the ones before that.
Yeah,
No,
so
no, before that.
right. You didn't get canceled. They got
No,
you
no, they
sold
got-
it to somebody else, and they
Right,
got
right,
canceled.
correct.
And what you're proposing now looks a lot like what was there before, and the police have concerns about it.
As
And you had some problems here when you ran it.
We did, but that was over 10 years ago. We were both younger. We were both just getting into the business, and we have a lot of experience. And then we also have an active license right now for about 5 years, which doesn't
What
have-
is it?
Sorry?
What is that license?
That's an off-premise.
What?
Package store.
Oh, package store.
Yeah.
How far is that away?
The same community board. It's not too far. I'm not sure exactly.
Well, can we tone down the
We changed the-
entertainment?
Yes, definitely. But I want to also add, we're only staying open till 1 a.m.
Yeah, no, that's helpful if you can. I mean, I don't know that you. At this point, in New York City, they can they don't need anything to dance, right? They can do dancing.
Right, we don't even
Well,
need.
we're not even doing
Yeah,
dancing.
there isn't even room
Tables
for
and
that. We have all
chairs.
tables and chairs. We're more focused on the food and turning the tables and chairs over. With
We're
new
just trying to-
customers.
What kind of live music are we talking about?
Bands, reggae bands, jazz bands. We came into a more mature clientele compared to where we were when we were younger.
My not problem, my concern is that, I look at, there's homes like right behind you.
We have support from everybody in that block. If you look at Exhibit H, every single home in that block gave us a recommendation.
That in the supplemental?
Every single home. Sorry?
All right.
Is
I
that
think it's,
supplemental? Did you
it's,
send it? Did you send it in before the
yeah, I
meeting?
sent it in. Yeah, here it is. Exhibit H. Every single home in the block.
And you
we have
guys
a
are
signature.
managing this place?
Yeah, we're managing, yes. And there's also a diagram to show the location of every house and a signature from every house on that block.
Exhibit H.
Matter of fact, it's all commercial on our block. The only residential block is behind us, and that's where we have our signatures from.
And you understand, has to be open to the public, because you had filed for a club license last time.
Yeah, we did. That was, we got wrong information at the time. And because we were trying to make it more of an exclusive
Right, you
experience,
can't
but
do
no,
that.
we're not doing
Right,
that now. Yeah, we figured that, we realized that.
So just tell me again, it's a comedy club that serves food?
Yeah, so we're calling it, we're trying to stay away from comedy club. It's a comedy themed restaurant. And we're serving food. It's a more of a dining experience.
And then at what point do you have live music? Is that?
That's okay. So like on main nights, if we're bringing in like if it's a big show, that's gonna probably be like a Friday and a Saturday show. Then we have like on Tuesday and Wednesday we're gonna have a themed music band.
So it's a nightclub, and when you
No.
do that, you're
No,
clearing the
No,
tables?
it's not a nightclub. Let me explain.
Are you clearing
Okay,
the
got it,
tables when you do that?
No, we're always gonna have the tables there. It's always gonna be seated. The main comedy shows we want to do gear it towards the weekends. So Friday, Saturday, possibly Sunday. The weekdays we want to bring in the live band, and intermission would be like a comedian for the live band. But that's
So
just
is it
mostly
ticketed
just
shows, or is it entertainment during dinner?
it's entertainment during dinner.
It's like a
But with an announced schedule of live performance?
Um,
It doesn't matter what it is, I'm just trying to figure out how you're envisioning your business that you're gonna run.
Yeah, so our plan is like to put the comedy shows together. It's a little bit more complicated, so that's why we only do it on the weekends. But during
Okay.
the weekdays, it's easier to just have a band. We just want to entertain the people while they're eating,
Okay,
so we can have the live band as the background music playing for them.
So like a dinner club, basically, is what you're
Yeah.
talking
Exactly. Yeah.
Which is,
and who's cooking?
We
Yeah,
have
for
a
sure.
yeah.
Who's the chef?
His J Leak, he's exhibit.
Okay.
Yeah, his resume is there on exhibit.
so your music is gonna be like, a compliment to dining.
Right.
Right.
In other words,
Right.
Not a 50-cent show, you
No.
know, people
Right,
trying to
right.
eat, you know?
Right.
No.
I've played in bands and done many, many weddings and things like that, and I know when it's time to be background and let people eat, not pay attention to you, you know? So if that's the kind of thing you're doing, my concern is that it getting all out of hand and disturbing the neighbors with the big, thumping the bass and stuff like that in the neighborhood. That would be my concern, that I don't want to happen. So that's
Right,
what
no,
my
we're-
concern is too, which is why I want to get rid of the DJ. Are you willing to do that? You can still have recorded music, you just don't have a DJ.
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, and the live music I'm willing to give you, and the comedy show I'm willing to give you, but it's DJs that, when they bring DJs in, it tends to all hell breaks
No,
loose.
yeah, you're right. I mean,
Right.
I've seen that, so
You know
that's
what we're
fair.
talking about. You understand?
Yeah, I understand, 100%. Yeah.
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for the letter that they said about the chef's resume, but I don't see it.
Supplemental?
No, it's not in the supplemental. Anyway, what's his name?
J League Roberts.
Okay. Oh, I see it. Thanks.
Oh, you got it? Okay.
I see it. Yes. Thank you.
Oh, exhibit B.
Yeah,
right?
I see it. Okay. And this person is ready to start?
Yes.
All right.
What hours did you say you want?
1 a.m.
Weekdays, 11 p.m. Friday and Saturday, 1 a.m.
Okay.
Members ready to vote?
Yes.
Mr.
You don't
President?
need a bathroom waiver, right? You have enough restrooms?
Yeah, we do.
How
Yeah.
many bathrooms do you have?
In the men's room is 3 stalls and 2 urinals. The ladies' room is 4 stalls.
Okay. You really need 6 security guards?
Well, we just want to make sure that we have a presence in case.
Let them have it. You can have 20 as long.
All right, yeah, I know. I'm just gonna put as needed, okay?
Yeah, security is needed, yes.
Yes, okay. So I'm gonna vote in the affirmative, for now, 1 a.m. across the board. Security guard as needed, principals to manage. If you hire a manager, send us their personal questionnaire. Recorded music, patron dancing is okay, no DJ. Live acoustic band is okay. I'm gonna do 20 private events each year and no third-party promoters. You can come back for more hours if you do well in 1 year. But it's 1 a.m. across the board.
Commissioner Ford?
So you said 1 AM across the board?
Yeah.
Can we, since you indicate if they get a manager, can we just leave it as manager as needed?
Yes,
So they don't have to
please.
file an application?
Yeah, that's fine.
Anytime someone doesn't want to stay open till 4 AM, that's a big positive in my book. So 1 AM is great. So I'm going to approve under the same stipulations that Commissioner Fan just noted.
And Chairman Bradley.
I'm going to approve as well under the same stipulations. I got to be honest with you guys, I was going to deny this, but you look like, because of the adverse history, but you look like you're pretty serious guys, so don't prove me wrong.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
You look like you're older and wiser now. That's what he's trying to say, so, in a nice way. Aren't we
Have
all?
a good day.
All right, thank you, gentlemen.
Next is 1780 KC Liquors and Spirits Enterprise LLC.
Good afternoon, all. My name is Miguel Acosta. I'm here representing KC Liquors and Wines and Mr. Eric Opoku. He's applying for a liquor store license.
Is that who's behind you?
He's
Okay.
Mr. Opoku.
You can step up.
My client is seeking a liquor store packaging license at 320 East 188th Street. We were informed that there was an opposition.
There is opposition. Is there any opposition here? No, I don't see any. But we did get one written opposition letter.
Yes, I was informed that Grand Concourse Liquors, which is a bulletproof liquor store, was opposing, which is about 7 minutes walking distance away from this liquor store. There was another liquor store on 183rd Street, which was also about a 10-minute walk, which closed down, got the license revoked back in 2021. So basically, my client's store will be replacing this store.
Where was that located?
There was 183rd Street. So this one is on 188th Street. The closest liquor store to this is a very large store. What now is being considered like a warehouse type liquor store. They're not opposing to this, and it's because of the fact that this liquor store that my client is proposing is very small. He's in an area where it's increasing in population. Back in 2019 to 2020, population was about 79,000. 2020, 2021 has increased to about 85,000. There's a few residential buildings that are being constructed at the time on Fordham Road. You have also a new commercial building that was just opened for commercial spaces, and the square footage is about 700 square feet, the total size of the place, and the retail area is going to be 50% of that, so it's about 350 square feet. Going to have the office space and the storage area also as well. And due to the size, I don't see any impact on any existing liquor stores that may be in the area. Mr. Opoku has also done his investigation with regards to the demand in the area. All liquor stores are currently Asian owned. He's bringing more of African American type of liquors, has met with liquor store consultants, and has gained experience in the retail business. Mr. Opoku is coming from a service business, which has highly deflated due to the fact that he used to be in the cable business. After the fire sticks, the
Let me
cable.
stop you there. This protest letter, who is this from?
It's from that second store, that.
Grand Concourse.
Right.
But then he's mentioning that this is in addition to the location Creston Liquors that applied for a license 1 month ago. What is that about?
I'm not sure.
He must be representing somebody else too?
Or they may be opposing another one that's, I'd have to, hold on for a second.
Okay, go ahead, I'm sorry.
So yeah, Mr. Opoku would like to express his himself for this consideration of his application. Let him speak for a minute.
Okay, thanks. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, committee. I'd like to say thank you for even giving me the opportunity to even be here. It reminds me of the time when I went to my first Yankee game. It gave me that New York feel, you know. Although I didn't get approved or anything like that yet, but just being here shows, you know, especially the community I'm from, the hard work pays off, you know. I'm a first generation Ghanaian American. My parents migrated here from Ghana back in 1974 to try to establish a better life, you know, for them and their family. As I got older, I realized community service and working for people is my passion. Started off as a babysitter, moved on to Kmart. That was my first introduction in, you know, selling goods and products. And when they made me a pantry supervisor is when I first sold some wine. It wasn't a high volume wine, but it was, you know, it had some alcohol content. And I remember the lady asked me, do you think it would go good with my spaghetti dinner? And, you know, we laughed and I said, if it's red, I believe it would, because that's what everybody used to say, red wine goes with most dinners. And from there, I understood that, you know, services is within my passion. I moved on to being an entrepreneur, running a small cable company within a large cable, like subcontracting for a larger cable company, Spectrum Cable. And during the pandemic, just because most people were home, the volume went down. So the company that I worked for, they wanted to rebrand and not have internal. They only wanted contractors. So from being a supervisor, I started a little contracting company again with the Spectrum company. And I was able to hire four guys that works under the company. Unfortunately, you know, with aging and, you know, being in the field for all these years, it takes a little toll on the body, and I wanted to get back into something that's still customer friendly, dealing with people. And then I remember that experience I had at Kmart with the wine and speaking to the elderly lady. And I realized spirits and things of that nature brings people together. So then I said, I'm going to pursue this as the next chapter in my life, the next phase. Try to get a small liquor store, community-based, have, you know, different vendors, newer vendors, different ethnicities come in and, you know, present their line of alcohol and spirits and wines and things of that nature. And I'm just excited for the potential new opportunity, and hopefully, you know, you guys will grant that.
Thank you.
That other store that the opposition is talking about, that's a place on Creston, which is on the other side of the concourse. And they applied back in February, but I looked at the application. We've been dealing with all kinds of deficiencies with that, and it's still.
All right, so it's not it's still pending.
It's still pending, but I'm not sure if they're going to get to you or not.
And when was this one?
This was filed in June.
Oh, all right, well, he got here, so. Okay, we're ready, Don.
All right, Commissioner Fan.
So how far do you live from here?
So I recently bought a home uptown. It's about 3 miles away, but I've lived 4 blocks from where I'm trying to get this place for 36 years. So
Okay.
that's my home. My mom still lives in the area.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're not going to continue the other?
The cable, no, I just want to focus on this.
Okay.
Probably with one other employee.
All right, thank you for sharing your story. I see growing numbers in 2 of the 4 closest stores. Actually, 3 of the 4 closest stores are. So I'm going to find public convenience and advantage.
Donald. It's been doing that.
And vote to support your store.
Thank you, Mr. Ford.
I'm going to vote in the affirmative as well.
I like your spirit and your attitude, and I approve. Just leave it at that.
Thank you.
Chairman Bradley.
I'm going to vote to approve as well under the same justification. So good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. You guys have a great day.
Congratulations. I hear one of you guys are moving on or something. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Bye.
I think it has to do with connection issues.
No, I didn't know if you saw it went out.
It's been doing that all day.
Okay.
Next is 1738 Eugene and SUPPLICE LLC.
Good morning to Commissioners, Authority, Council. Michael James appearing for Eugene and SUPPLICE LLC. I don't believe we have any opposition here today. So I will first ask for the reconsideration of the application. This was initially, this was actually filed. They self-filed the application, took the initiative to do that. March 4th, 2021, it was disapproved on 7/10/21. The reconsideration was granted. After it was disapproved by the licensing board, it was reconsideration granted August 23rd, 2021, and then the full board disapproved it May 25th of 2022. The applicants failed to appear. They did not understand, they weren't familiar with the process and did not appear on that date. And so public convenience and advantage was not found based on that non-appearance and other factors as well. So I'm first asking for that. I'm not sure if you'd like to vote on it or if I could just proceed.
Why should we reconsider? Proceed.
Okay. So
the fact that they didn't show up isn't a reason for us to reconsider it. There's got to be something new.
Well, the arguments that we're going to present is something new. I can present those arguments now. So there are 4, obviously the 4 closest stores, they're all within a mile, but two of them are outside. One is 0.6 miles, the other is 0.4 miles. None of them have protested except the farthest store that is in Belrose, which is an entirely different zip code and different neighborhood. If you look at the map of it, it may appear that these stores are closer than they really are. I was actually remembering just now that I've driven this neighborhood several times, and this specific block, I said there should be a store here, naturally because of what I practice. And when I spoke to Stephanie for the first time, my clients are here as well. When I spoke to Stephanie for the first time, I was surprised. I said, I told her, I said, I've driven this place, that neighborhood, that block several times, and I thought someone's going to apply for a store in that place, and I'm happy that it was the 2 of them. If we look at the store numbers, the sales numbers, only 2 stores have responded. The stores closest to it have not. I think we should use, or at least assume that those stores are doing well. It should not be a detriment to my clients that they have not responded, and if they didn't respond, we can assume that's helpful. The third closest store is Bulletproof. And they did respond but did not oppose the application. And the 4th closest store, again, is in a entirely different neighborhood. Now, going back to driving the neighborhood, it does appear that it's close because they're within a mile, but if you are actually in the neighborhood, this is a very far distance away. The neighborhoods are clustered together, so there are 2 on Hempstead Avenue. There's 1 on Jamaica Avenue, 0.4 miles away, which is about 8 blocks away, a minute away. And in New York City, of course, if you're taking the bus, that is a great distance away. Even if you're driving, that's still a distance away to drive to because of how this community is clustered together. It's a significant group of homes that separate each store from each other. Now, my clients are still going to offer a different product, or at least a different
looked in the other neighboring stores, they are obviously, it'll be a woman-owned store. They'll offer late night hours and early morning hours. One of the stores, Belmont, is only opens at 12 p.m. That's their every day. They open at 12 p.m. They will be open at 10 a.m. and close at 12 a.m. Open early and closing late. Servicing that window. They also are natives of this neighborhood. They've lived here for the entirety of their life, the other since 2000, and they know the area. They are from the community and understand the demographics very well. At this time, they also would like to address the board and tell you a portion of their story, their background, so the board can consider that as well.
Just before, just to be clear, we did get one written protest from Rogers.
Correct, and they're the farthest away.
All right, go ahead.
And their store sales do support.
I'm just putting it on the record.
Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to present ourselves. Basically, we're from the neighborhood, and I've lived
What's
there.
your name?
Stephanie Eugene.
Okay.
And this is SUPPLICE. And we're
Sorry,
from.
keep going.
No problem. We're from the neighborhood. We've been there for most of our lives. And I'm aware of the surrounding stores that are around me and people that live in the neighborhood. The other liquor stores that are in the neighborhood are a good distance. For those that don't drive, and the bus is very opposite for you to get there. The one that's on 215 is a good 20-minute walk. The one that's in Belmont is way more than 20 minutes for you to walk because there's no transportation to go up that way. You will have to go all the way by Springfield and then come back around to get to the one that's in Belmont. And then the one that's in Braddock is way out of our way. It's more than 30 minutes walk, or even by the bus is more than 15, 20 minutes to get there.
You're going to be open, right? An open store, not bulletproof?
Correct. Open store, people could go
Let me ask you
in.
another thing. The cellar doesn't have interior access, or does it?
It does not.
No.
So you're not going to be able to use the cellar unless you get a warehouse permit?
No, the cellar is in the store.
We addressed that with an advisory not too long ago.
Right. Oh, okay. I did forget that. Okay, I'm wrong.
Okay.
Go ahead now.
Yeah, it's within the store, and I have spoken to my neighbors, and it's something that's needed in the neighborhood where I am. I'm away from the other liquor store, and it's needed. We have a supermarket that's not too far from us, about a block away. The cross is apartment buildings that are around us, residential areas. Like I said, I've spoken to the neighbor. I'm in the hospitality. I'm already in hospitality. I deal with clients. I'm also a hairstylist. That's what I do part-time. So I do have clienteles, and I'm around the neighborhood. And my partner, she's in restaurant business. So we're just.
So you're paying for the whole store?
Correct. At the moment, we're paying.
You're giving her half of it?
Yes, we're paying. We're paying together.
Yeah.
We're paying the rent at the moment. And it's been a long time since we've been paying rent. So
You have been paying rent this whole time?
Yes.
You
been
waited
paying
for a
rent.
long time.
Yeah.
So what's the plan? You guys going to work there full time eventually, or?
Correct. Yes.
That's the hope?
That's the plan. Yes.
For
ma'am.
now, you're gonna just ride it out, the two of you sharing?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're gonna hire an employee or no?
No, we're working. We're doing it all ourselves.
Okay. How far is the restaurant?
Where I work right
Yes.
now, it's I'm in Brooklyn. It's 455 Gateway Drive.
It's in
Red
Brooklyn.
Lobster. The Red Lobster in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I'm a
So what's
manager.
your Red
there.
Lobster? Oh, you're a manager at the Red Lobster?
Yes.
All right. So how would the shifts work between the two of you?
Basically half and half.
Half and half. Alternate.
We'll alternate.
Okay. And how far is your other business?
Oh, it's not far.
Yes,
we're in
it's
the same
right
block.
down the block.
Walking distance?
Yeah, walking distance.
But
We're in the same block.
she would stop her other job to work
All right.
at this
Yeah,
store
full-time.
full-time.
All right, I'm gonna vote yes on reconsideration.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Commissioner Ford?
No, it's not yes.
I'll vote yes on consideration too. I do believe the only reason why we denied it is because you weren't here.
And
Thank
Sharon
you.
Bradley.
And I'll vote yes on reconsideration as well.
On the application?
This has been going on for a while, so interestingly, we don't have numbers from the two closest stores. 2 of the 4 are bulletproof. This is not going to be a bulletproof store, and third and the fourth store are both actually showing healthy growth from what the numbers I have, and perhaps waiting this long worked in your favor, so I'm going to vote in the affirmative.
Thank you,
Thank
Commissioner.
you. Thank you very much. And congratulations on your retirement.
We're not done yet.
Oh, sorry.
Commissioner Ford?
Yes.
Now, in Major League Baseball, you can go 1 for 3, but you can't here. You gotta go 2 for 3 up here.
I suppose if I deny at this point, you're gonna take all that back. so-
You worked hard.
So I'm gonna vote to approve as well in the same stipulations.
And
ladies.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll vote to approve under the same justification.
Thank
Now
you.
you can celebrate.
Thank you.
Now you can pour it on.
Congratulations anyway.
Yeah, you should thank him.
Enjoy your retirement. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it.
Good luck.
Good luck in your business.
Thank you.
Of course, I have to just say a few words to Commissioner Ford. Truly a loss. It's been such a pleasure to practice before you. You've been fair, firm when you've had to be, and kind. I wish you and your family the best in the next chapter. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Have a blessed evening.
Happy holidays, everyone else.
Yes,
See you
happy
next
holidays.
Next is 1781 York Avenue Senior Care LLC.
The only reason this is before you is because Mr. McGrath's client originally applied for a full liquor license here, and because of the nature of the business, we had to disapprove it. I've been dealing with Mr. McGrath quite a bit on this matter. His client then filed the wine license, but because of the disapproval, we had to bring the temporary permit.
Right, I get
before
it.
you.
All right, Donald, we're ready to vote, I think.
Commissioner Fan?
Well, you want to put your name on? Go ahead.
Yes, Kevin B. McGrath
Okay.
for
go
the
ahead.
applicant.
Okay, go ahead.
Commissioner Fan?
You have questions, unless you have questions.
Well, I thought this, well,
It's just to give him a 10.
but it's not open to the public.
And
It's what?
It's not open to the public, right? We're on
no,
1781?
it's
a business.
It's
so-
okay.
So, because of the issues of the type of venue this is, it doesn't fit into any of the categories for the on-premises liquor license.
Okay.
But there is that catch-all provision under the wine license that is, whatever type of business it is, as long as the revenue is not from the alcoholic beverages is not,
Is insignificant.
It's incidental,
Insignificant.
then it qualifies. That's how we've,
Okay.
so
All right.
there
We've done
won't,
jewelry stores, barber shops.
Yep.
and there won't be
Okay.
any need for this, for the underlying application. Well, actually, I'm going to ask you,
No, we don't need it.
can we just can licensing act on the license application?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Okay. I'll vote in the affirmative.
All right, Commissioner Ford?
So, I'm not sure. What am I voting for?
The
You're
10th.
voting to attempt and also to let licensing act on the main license application.
Because his original application was denied, Tom's not allowed to give, his bureau's not allowed to give temps out if there was an application denied at the premise without our approval.
Okay.
The application was denied because he applied for the wrong application, no other reason.
Got it. Okay, I vote to approve as well.
And Chairman Bradley?
And I'll vote to approve, and no, we don't need to see it again.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Mr. Chairman, Commissioner, I just want to extend my warmest congratulations to you, and you've been a kind and considerate commissioner and a credit to the authority.
Thank you so
All
much.
right,
Wish
that's
you
enough. His
a
head's
lot.
starting to get
That's
big.
enough.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next is 1740 Luna's Restaurant, Inc. There is a related agenda item. It's also 1783 and 1784, if you want to pull that up.
Mr. Veras, don't say anything nice about Commissioner Ford.
Yeah, please don't.
I said it the last time, but he knows how special he
We're
is.
good. Yeah, we're good.
83 and 84?
That's also
Happy holidays, everyone.
a matter related to the licensee.
Just, I just wanted a little bit of clarity for the Secretary's office. I'm here for the landlord and the new applicant. I was trying to avoid, this has already been canceled, 10/22. What it is you have it for cancellation. I'm trying to avoid, and revocation with prescription. I'm trying to avoid the prescription. I'm not here to defend all this bad
There won't
behavior.
be prescription, so cancel for the record on both of them.
If you please. Thank you, and happy holidays, Commissioner Ford. Like, I'll see you in Florida.
You will.
Happy holidays.
Cancel and bond
Cancel
for,
for the record.
Are you denying, just so you're denying
Denying
reconsideration?
Yes, and canceling.
And then cancel on the other, because there's no bond available.
Yes.
Correct. Cancel. The both should be canceled for the or denying reconsideration and then
recon
cancel for the record, yes.
for 1740. And then for 1783 and 84, it's canceled for the record.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Jonathan, there's no one else here, correct?
Correct. And that's all she wrote, Ford.
Well, you gotta
I
go
know, we
through
got the
lightning
lightning round.
to do here, yeah.
his favorite part.
Your wife watching?
I don't know.
She's probably tanning.
No, she's ready
The
for him to
sunset.
come down there.
I think she's had enough.
He's
of
been
the-
living the bachelor life for sitting at home in the cold weather. She's ready for him to come down.
So 17, 22, 23, and 26 is an offer of 17,500.
I'm going to accept 17,500.
But it's hookah like 4 times. So I don't know. Yeah, I'll accept it.
I'll accept it as well, but if they're watching, if they get hookah again, that's it. They're done.
Also, Council's office requests count 9 in the first proceeding to be withdrawn.
Yes.
That's fine.
Yep.
Okay.
Withdraw
good.
count 9.
1724 is an offer of 20,000.
20,000, last chance. How come this won't come out?
Commissioner Ford?
Oh, they were selling while their registration was suspended. Yeah, I'll accept.
Chairman
I'll
Bradley.
accept.
1725
It
is an
should
offer.
be cancel and bond though, but
1725 is an offer of 6,500.
I'm going to counter at 10,000.
Yeah, I thought that was low. 10,000.
10,000, I agree.
1727 is an offer of bond amount.
This should be 6,000? Or it should.
So technically,
count as
this is a
first.
non-calendar.
They
And
took,
if they can,
So I should go to 3,500.
under the law, if they
Took an
can show
ATAP clerk.
that the person who sold,
That
who
might
made the sale, has an ATAP certificate.
And that appears to be the issue, is that we,
Usually in Secretary's office, the report says that this is the person that made the sale. And then they give us an ATAP certificate that says, here's their
Yeah, but
their
then
name.
I get 2,500, right? Not the bond amount.
no, if the person, the cashier who made the sale had ATAP before the sale, the statute limits the penalty to a bond amount. What Donald is pointing out is that we don't know.
We're taking their word for it.
We're taking the
basically.
word that the person who made the sale is.
ATAP.
Is
Yeah,
the
we know that we have a list of who got ATAP certified. We don't know if any of them are the person.
All
who made
right,
the
well,
sale.
we'll let it go then.
Fine.
Take the bond.
Take the bond.
1728 is an offer of 500.
I'm going to go to 200.
200.
Commissioner Ford?
Yeah, 200.
1729 is an offer of cancel and $1,000 civil penalty.
Cancel and 1,000 civil penalty.
Cancel.
Cancel and 1,000.
1730 is an offer of 4,000.
4,000.
4,000.
Accept. 4,000.
1731 is an offer of 4,000.
4,000.
4,000 accept.
Sure.
4,000. I thought it should have been higher, but that's fine.
1732 is a no contest.
I'm at 1,000.
So they had it from the Secretary of State, they just didn't notify the SLA? I don't know. And the licensing trade name has been approved. I'd go to 500.
Okay.
Okay, you're going to 500?
Whatever.
Yeah, 500.
500.
1733 is an offer of 2,000.
2,000.
2,000 accept.
2,000.
1734 is a no contest default at pleading.
I'm at 2,000.
2,000.
Chairman.
Is this the right charge? Sale without appropriate license permit. They took booze from another licensed premise and sold it.
Sold to another
Yes, well,
licensee.
it's act,
Oh, it's, so you're saying they basically sold it at from one licensee to the other?
so they sold it wholesale without a license.
I got it. Okay, yeah. I'll,
I cut my.
what'd you
copy.
guys say? 1,000?
2,000.
2,000? I'll go 2,000.
1735 is an offer of 10,000.
10,000.
10,000.
10,000, except, but dude, that was my note to myself. Third sale to minor. Go
So
ahead.
1736, the applicant sent an email saying they're withdrawing their request,
1736?
the application. So the withdrawal. 1737 is an offer of 6,000.
6,000.
6,000 accept.
6,000.
1739 is an offer of 2,000.
2,000.
2,000.
I had a question. Was this bubble tent part of the DOT program? Was it, or do we know, or?
No, not on the sidewalk.
It's in the backyard, right?
Oh, all right. Okay. Accept.
1743 is an offer of 6,000.
6,000.
6,000.
6,000.
1744 is a no contest default.
Cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond.
1744? Yeah, cancel and bond.
1745 is an offer of 1,000.
1,000.
1,000.
Accept.
1746 is an offer of 2,000.
2,000.
I'm gonna counter at 4,000.
4,000.
Commissioner Ford.
Oh, 4,000.
1747, 48, and 49. This is an offer of cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond, accept.
Well,
Yeah,
you just put a cancel and bond on 1744.
so it's
So this should just be cancellation then.
yeah, 1744 is connected, so that's a cancel and bond for that one. So
Oh,
cancel
so now
for
we're
the
canceled
record.
for the record?
Yeah, if you want
Okay,
to.
cancel
For
for the record.
1747, 48, and 49?
Yeah.
Okay.
1750 and 51 is a offer of 9,000.
This is the one I emailed you about. I would just ask the members to be cautious about taking this offer with this kind of vague promise that they'll file the application, because they did it once back in 2015 and then withdrew it. So they've known for a long time he has to be on this
All right,
license.
so that's the.
I'm gonna ask for them to come in. How's that?
Okay. I don't need to save this, right? If they're coming in. I'm gonna vote to come in as well.
Okay, I mean,
So
we'll
you're
give you
gonna
a new agenda sheet.
Yeah, okay, that's what I mean.
So January 4th.
Yeah.
It's Commissioner Ford.
Yes.
1752 is a no contest default at hearing.
I'm at 10,000.
I'm at cancel. They already surrendered the license, right?
Yeah.
I'm a cancel and bond, too.
Cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond.
1753 is a offer of 1,500.
1,500.
This year.
1,500. Isn't this a kid's place? 1,500.
American Legion.
American Legion.
Yeah, second time this year, too.
Are
so.
you at it? Do you have a different?
What number are we at?
1753. That's the one I accidentally called. You may have.
Oh, yeah, I got it right here. Okay. 1,500, yep.
1754. That is a no contest.
This was several hundred people. Halloween 2020.
I just had 1,500.
1,500.
Just let it go.
Yep. They got away with their stupidity. 1,500. And back in the day, they would have been shut.
Yeah.
I know, right?
1755 is an offer of 1,000.
1,000.
I'll never forget those bars I was in Brooklyn that were full of people. 1,000.
Commissioner Ford, you said
Yes.
1,000.
Yep.
1756 is an offer of 1,500.
I'm gonna go to 1,000.
Oh,
1,000.
well, surrender anyway, right? 1,000.
1757 is an offer of 10,000.
Last chance, 10,000.
10,000.
Oh, excuse me, third time, so 10,000 again is fine, should have, what is it? Yeah, 10,000.
1758 is an offer of 3,000.
Back to council's office.
Return to council's office.
Return to council's office.
Back to council.
1759 is an offer of 2,500.
I'm not quite okay with this. This is 125 calls for noise.
Yeah, I was at 10.
All right,
So
10,000.
they've had other noise nuisance issues.
10,000.
Commissioner
10,000.
Ford? Are you okay with that?
Yeah, he said 10,000.
Oh, you did
Yep,
also?
yeah.
Yep, okay. 1760 is an offer of 4,000.
4,000.
4,000.
Yeah, 4,000.
1761 is an offer of 7,500.
7,500.
7,500 accept.
7,500, but just hopefully they're listening. They're getting very close to losing their.
The license expired now.
Well, it's a
No,
summer,
but-
it's a summer.
I know, and
license.
they're getting very close to losing their music privileges.
1762 is an offer of 3,500.
This is also not acceptable. There's 80 police calls in 2 years. 10,000.
10,000.
1,000.
1763 is an offer of 1,500.
1,500.
1,500.
1,500 accept, I guess.
1764 is an offer of 3,500.
3,500.
3,500.
3,500.
1765 is an offer of 2,000.
Council's office requesting withdrawing charge number 2.
Yep, withdrawing charge number 2, I'm going to accept 2,000.
2,000, withdraw 2.
1766 is a no contest.
Cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond.
1767 is an offer of 5,000.
I want to know if they have food now. They say to have it, but I'll accept, but should check again.
5,000.
Accept, what is it? Offered, oh, yeah, accept.
1770 is an offer of 4,000.
I'll accept 4,000.
4,000.
From the description of the presence of pests, it's a good thing no food was in fact being prepared and served to customers. Yeah, 4,000.
1771 is an offer of 250.
This is a new license with dead flies and dirt in the food. I'm going to counter at 1,000.
1,000. Counter.
1,000, and that's assuming it's all rectified.
Yep.
1772 is an offer of 3,500.
3,500.
3,500.
1773 is an offer of 5,000.
I'm gonna counter. This is 130 311 complaints.
Directed 280 directed patrols in 2 years.
Yeah, with a significant history here.
What are these people licensed for, Tom? Is it a restaurant?
He waited until I turned my computer off.
I can. Let's.
Should it be 10,000?
Definitely.
At least.
It says
I knew I shouldn't have done it.
restaurant.
12,500.
12,500.
12,500?
Yep.
So 12,500.
Yeah, and when they look back and see the video on this, they better straighten up because none of this should be happening at a restaurant.
12,500.
1774 is an offer of cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond, accept.
1777 is a new package store application. Senkaido Inc.
I mean, they didn't come in, so. I'm gonna have to vote to deny.
Let's save ourselves the recon.
You want to hold it over?
Yeah.
That's fine.
Just because
Yeah, that's fine with me.
somebody's gonna have to write up that reconsideration that's coming anyway.
For the record, my notes, another store reserve appears to be closed, and that would be the closest store to them, and applicant is much
Well,
further
thank you for
away.
your input, but your opinion on this now means nothing.
You've been waiting to say that, haven't you? You've been waiting to say
The
that.
January 4th, right?
Yes. and for them to appear.
Yeah, okay.
1785 is a request for reconsideration.
We held this over
For
for
the
a reason,
For them to show up, yeah.
and they didn't show up, so what do you want to do?
Denied.
Really? Okay.
1784, that is?
Bag 'em.
85.
85.
Yeah, vote to deny.
Commissioner Ford, did you say deny also?
Deny.
1786 is an offer of 6,500.
6,500.
6,500.
6,500.
1787 is not guilty, went to hearing.
Sustain all three charges. License has been surrendered.
Cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond.
1788 is an offer of 3,500.
3,500.
Accept.
1789 is an offer of 1,500.
I'll go to 1,000.
1,000.
And open since 1990, 1,000.
1790 is an offer of 6,500.
6,500.
6,500.
6,500.
All right, I have nothing else. Chairman, do you have any?
Nope.
All right, well, this meeting's adjourned.
And congratulations, Commissioner Ford.
Thank you very much.
Once again.